Okay, let's dive right into this. It's funny how we think about history. We see these big, sweeping eras, right? Or these massive, singular events that change everything. But what happens if we just zoom in? Like, really zoom in on one single, seemingly ordinary day on the calendar? Let's take October 3rd. If we start peeling back the layers of that one day, you are going to be amazed by what we find.
So, if I ask you what happened on October 3rd, what comes to mind? For most of us, probably nothing, right? It just feels like another Tuesday or Friday or whatever. But as we're about to see, that one date is absolutely packed with stories that have shaped our world in some really profound and honestly unexpected ways. I mean, just get a load of this. On this single day in history, a modern nation was put back together, while an ancient one celebrates its mythical birth. A president, right in the middle of a brutal civil war, created a tradition we still cherish today. An astronaut literally circled our planet, pushing the absolute boundaries of exploration. And a verdict in a trial that had the whole world watching split a country right down the middle. October 3rd. It's a crossroads. It really is.
So let's start there with how this one day is core to the very identity of two major nations. And what's so wild is how they could not be more different. One story is born from modern politics, the other from ancient epic mythology. This contrast is it's fascinating. On one hand, you have October 3rd, 1990. This is the day that East Germany officially joined West Germany, finally ending 45 years of Cold War division. It's a day of treaties and politics, celebrated as German Unity Day. Then, on the exact same calendar date, Koreans celebrate their National Foundation Day. And this holiday, it goes back way, way back to a legend from 2333 BC about the mythical figure Dungun founding the very first Korean state. So on the same day, you've got two huge cultures celebrating who they are, one looking back to a modern political treaty, the other to a powerful origin myth that's thousands of years old.
But nations aren't just built on treaties or myths. They're also shaped by powerful traditions. And a lot of the time, those traditions are hammered out when things are at their absolute toughest. And that brings us to a proclamation from a president desperately trying to hold his country together.
On October 3rd, 1863, Abraham Lincoln issued these words. And to really get the weight of this, you have to picture the scene. The country is literally tearing itself apart in the Civil War. It was only 3 months after the horrific Battle of Gettysburg, which left 50,000 casualties. The grief was unimaginable. And yet, it's right in that moment, in this pit of suffering, that Lincoln calls for a national day of thanks.
Now, this proclamation wasn't just some nice gesture. It was a strategic act of leadership. It directly acknowledged the horrible waste that has been made in the camp, the siege, and the battlefield. But it also tried to point people towards gratitude and called on a higher power to heal the wounds of the nation. This single act on October 3rd took a patchwork of regional harvest festivals and forged it into a permanent national institution, one that was specifically designed to try and foster some kind of unity in a time of absolute division.
Okay, so while all this big nation-building stuff is happening, individuals were also doing incredible things. They were reaching for the stars, leaving their mark on our culture, and getting caught up in stories that would absolutely grip the entire world. This is the human story of October 3rd.
Just this one number, 6. It represents a monumental leap in human exploration. 6 orbits of the Earth, a flight that shattered boundaries and basically yelled to the world that humanity had a future up there in space. Yup, on October 3rd, 1962, astronaut Wally Schirra got into the Sigma-7 capsule for the Mercury-Atlas 8 mission. He stayed up there for over 9 hours, circling our planet 6 times. Now, this was the longest American spaceflight yet, and more importantly, it was a massive technical success. It proved the Mercury spacecraft could handle a long-duration flight, which was the crucial green light NASA needed to plan for the even longer missions that would eventually take us to the moon. All right, let's fast forward 33 years to the day. And we are going to slam right back down to Earth from the quiet focus of outer space and land in the middle of a media circus, a legal firestorm that had basically the entire planet watching. On October 3rd, 1995, what people were calling the trial of the century came to its jaw-dropping conclusion.
After months and months of testimony that had everybody glued to their TVs, former football hero O.J. Simpson was acquitted of the murders of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. I mean, that verdict sent shockwaves through the country, sparking these really intense debates about race, justice, and celebrity that frankly are still going on today.
October 3rd is also this amazing snapshot of our culture in all its forms. In 1955, the Mickey Mouse Club premiered, and it basically defined children's TV for a generation. 12 years later, on that same day in 1967, the powerful, influential voice of folk legend Woody Guthrie fell silent. And then you jump to 1992, where a single act of televised protest became this massive cultural flashpoint, when Sinead O'Connor tore up a picture of the Pope on Saturday Night Live.
So, what does this all add up to? I mean, what's the point? Well, when you start pulling all these different threads together, the politics, the myths, the wars, the science, the culture, you start to see it. You see this rich, complicated, incredible mosaic that makes up just a single day in human history.
And this is the big takeaway right here. This chart just lays it all out so clearly. One single date, October 3rd, holds these epic stories of national unity and ancient mythology. It holds presidential pleas made in the darkest of times and scientific leaps into the cosmos. It's got divisive legal verdicts and powerful cultural moments that we still talk about. It's never just one story. It's this whole collection of human experiences, all layered on top of each other across time.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Every single day that passes is its own mosaic of human history, just filled with events, big and small, that will one day be what people remember and try to understand about us. So it leaves you with a question, right? What will be the story of our time? And what's going to be remembered from yours?